Log on, tune in, find out. Another good idea from Cambridge.
All right, I'll do it. Yeah, we've got to put this on the chair. Right, welcome to this session. The next speaker will be Liqun Chen from HP Labs. Great place, really good place to be, in a very interesting town, which you all really want to work in. We've got a job opening at the moment. So anyway, Liqun will give a talk on from cryptographers, cryptography to engineers crypto.
Thank you very much, Nigel. Yes, a number of people asked me about this title during those 2 days. Oh, yes, I just did. Can you hear me? No? Oh, sorry. Is there any better? Yeah, a bit better, not okay. Then I probably need to speak loudly in my version. Yeah, so I have been asked where this title come from. So I started from where this title come from. To say this, I have to introduce this gentleman, and I'm sure many of you know him, but many of you know him, many of you don't. For those who don't know him, this is my colleague, Graham Prodler. And Graham is a TCG Technical Committee Chairman, and TCG is a trusted computing group. Graham is a charming engineer. He used to be hardware engineer. Chris probably knows much more than me, and now he knows quite well about software and firmware. So he has all those necessary backgrounds TCG need, except one. That is cryptography. So that brings my role to the TCG. So Graham is probably one of very few people in the world who started from very beginning, full-time working for TCG, and that was time from late 90 and not even called TCG, it's called TCPA. So that's Graham. I have been working with Graham since then, the crypto part, but I'm not full-time working for TCG. We have a very nice meeting room called the Mercury in our lab. This is our favorite room because it's close to our desk and it's nice. So it's quite often Graham and me to sitting in the Mercury, talk about TCG, talk about crypto, talk about crypto for TCG. Then guess what is Graham's favorite saying during our conversation? It's quite often it's ending to the conversation. I explained everything quite nicely, clearly, but they say, what the heck are you talking about? So then I realized it must be something different about engineers crypto, they always called crypto, and cryptographers cryptography. Then Nigel and Kenny invited me to give a talk. Thank you very much anyway. Then I thought probably this is the right title for this workshop. Are those two things same? They are same thing. They ought to be same thing, but actually they are not. What I mean by cryptographers cryptography are those solutions designed by cryptographers, particularly academic cryptographers. and they are published in the crypto type of conferences and the journals, and they are technically cool. What I mean about engineers crypto, they are developed by engineers, of course, and particularly those industry engineers. And they are used by banks, mobile phone companies, and the internet, etc. They are probably not technically cool, but practically useful. Maybe you will say, no, wrongly. The thing is not always like that, black and white. Between cryptographers and engineers, there are many things in the middle. Many things from cryptography to the crypto. That's very true. Even myself, I'm not a completely cryptographer, I'm not a completely engineer, I'm in kind of something middle. So Mark Ward asked me in day one, said, whether you consider yourself as a cryptographer or engineer. Then I said I have two hats, like Hav said, he has two hats, crypto and security. I have two hats, cryptographer and engineer, dependent on who I'm talking to. When I'm talking to Graham, I'm cryptographer. When I'm talking to Nigel, Kenny, and many of you, I'm engineer. But what I try to make a point is not this. I try to make a point is we have cryptographers' brain or community. We have engineers' brain and a community. Maybe even in one person, my right side is cryptographer, my left side is engineer. But if we make things simple, like cryptographers is happy to make things simple, engineer as well. We just separate those to two sides. Then we see how can they talk to each other and how can they infect each other. Actually, I realize we have those two parts we get further and further apart. Although they need to talk to each other, that's why this talk is coming from. That's why I pick up this topic. The content of this talk is based on my experience of working with TCG. I heard another person's comment which scares me a lot. I'm not going to mention your name. Say, oh, somebody going to talk to TPM. It's boring. Yes, many people have already taken TCG, trusted computing, TPM, outside from your research because it seems kind of old stuff, very boring. We have already moved to much more fancy new things. But actually there is always delay between cryptography and engineer's crypto. So the delay make from engineer side, TCG, TPM probably were meeting for the next spring. Meeting for next spring, maybe this is a Chinese phrase, that means they will have a second, they will become a second hot topic, second times hot topic due to like Microsoft supported TPM, they announced, hopefully this will be true, and the TCG is going to probably publish the new generation of TPM. So the trusted computing or TPM related stuff will probably bring to the crypto world become a hot topic. You never know. But since many people know TPM, TCG, some of you probably not know very well. I just say very brief words to make everybody to the same page. So TCG is an industry standard body. and they aim to provide a technology for trusted computing. So their main components is TPM. TPM is a little chip, and the TPM probably sitting in your laptop, but you may never notice. TPM is real TPM. The current version is 1.2. And even the TPM 1.2 specification has been adopted by ISO IEC and become international standard, and the number is 11889. Okay. Then TCG currently is working on the next generation of TPM, and they don't allow me to say the name of next generation of TPM. I have just deleted before I come here, and they don't allow me to say what time they are going to publish because they don't know. So I just call it a next generation TPM. Although TPM was designed for a number of different purposes, I'm sure some of you know, so I'm not going to say details about that. It's a bit boring here. But TPM has tended to be a crypto engine or crypto token. I heard somebody talk using token. This is probably better word than engine. So in this talk, we only concentrate about TPM's crypto functions. We don't care about what TPM actually do for other purpose. TPM supports basic crypto functions, like in the in version 1.2, which is available in the market in your computer, is hardware-based random number generation and hash function, MAC function, signing, asymmetric encryption. Those are all standard algorithms, and only one non-standard algorithms, although it's now in the ISO, that is the AA, Direct Anonymous Attestation. So this is not a well-used standard algorithm. All the others, like asymmetric, using ISA only, and the hash function is SHA-1, MAC function is a hash MAC. That's pretty much all the TPM 1.2 has. Then next generation TPM is intended to support algorithm agility. This is a plan, but it's not very easy to achieve. Nevertheless, TCG will try to do their best to make algorithms selection more flexible. Actually, the reason this is one of the major reasons why TCG want to create the next generation of TPM, because this is cost a lot of work. The reason is, in some countries, some government, they don't want to use the current TPM because they don't trust those crypto algorithms not designed used in their country. Okay, so TCG want to make TPM be widely used worldwide, and they said we support crypto algorithms agility, and you can choose your algorithm put in TPM. So that was the plan. Then also they are likely going to put the key derivation function in, and put symmetric encryption and decryption, also put Diffie-Hellman. So those three are the new crypto functions will likely be supported with next generation TPM. Although every word I say here, I have to be carefully choosing because they haven't announced it yet. How actually TCG to select those crypto algorithms for TPM? there are a lot of criteria, but after check the list, it seems to me only a few of those criteria is interested to the cryptographer. For example, their first criteria is about they have to follow regulation. Of course, their industry, and they need to put their product to the market, and they have to follow the law. They have not only have to follow the law, they have to follow all different types of laws from country to country and different levels. Like the reason TPM 1.2 has no symmetric encryption, decryption, which is kind of very unusual, only support ISA, nothing more than ISA. Yeah, not AES, not even triple DES or anything. This is not a technical reason, it's just because they don't want to deal with the license for export and import. But now this fortunately changing. It's relaxed a bit, not completely removed, but TCG at least allowed to put symmetric into TPM. They have to claim say it for a certain usage case, but it's all right. Then the second criteria is about standardization. Many talks have already mentioned the standards for crypto, and this is the one TCG like to hear as well. So because this is authorized recommendation. Like every industries, when you get a product, you're going to your customer say this is follow ISO blah blah number, or they have FIPS certificate or whatsoever. Then also they like to check the existing usage. For example, they try to choose whether Schnorr signature should be in TPM or not in TPM. Then they coming to ask me, Lee, have you ever heard anybody use the Schnorr signature? I said yes without thinking, because I saw the Schnorr signature is my favorite signature, is in ISO, it's everywhere. I said yes. But then I said, no, maybe let me check a reference for you. I tried to find whether anywhere Schnorr signature is used. I couldn't find anything. If anybody know where Schnorr signature actually used, let me know. Yeah.
I think Sony used it in their.
Oh, that's great.
but with a fixed randomness, so it was completely broken.
No.
It's the famous. It was either
maybe they recovered.
Was it DSA?
Yeah, DSA is everywhere. DSA is no doctor they were going to put, but Schnorr I would very much like let them to put, hopefully. Yeah.
I heard that there is a Korean standard.
There is a Korean standard called KC DSA. The Korean standard is in ISO. Korean standard, if Korea like to put it in, they will submit it to TCG, no problem. There is a Korea DSA. Maybe they even not call it. They do. They call it KC DSA, and there's German DSA called the GDSA, and there is Chinese type of DSA is SMS2, but I don't know whether Schnorr is used by any products. Yeah. Nevertheless, this is a criteria TCG like to have. They never say this is necessary.
This might have something to do with Schnorr's patent only expiring very recently.
Yes, it is expired very recently, but it's take time when it's expired. If anybody have already make it ready to use, then become product. Otherwise, there is a delay. Then TCG cannot wait because they have to announce sometimes very soon. Yeah. Then also they need to concerned about the potential market or business strategy, which is the part I never got a clue, which is not any part in my brain, and not left side, right side, nothing. finally, the last but not least, as they said, is cryptographer's advice. If we say, no, 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 you should not put it in because it's broken, like Kenny said, or for different reasons, they are listening. They actually quite trust us. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a formal system or formal mechanism for TCG to seek advice from cryptographers, perhaps working in academia?
They are open. They say it many times, and it's in their webpage. And they say they welcome academic to work with them, and also academic can be their liaison member without paying membership fees. I think Roy Holloway is membership. Is a member. Yeah, Chris registered. Yeah, is a member. So you're welcome to work with TCG in any levels. So probably you don't agree with me, so this is quite much my personal view. Although even me, I was hesitate to say this statement or changing the wordings. But finally, I think this is exactly what I want to say, so I stay with that. I think cryptographers are living in a self-created world. And engineers are living in a world which quite often beyond their control. So the word often was added by Graham. Because when I showed this sentence to him, he said, no, engineers create a world, we create a world. Then I argued with him, said, no, you cannot control this, you cannot control that, you are actually restricted. Yes. Put often in your sentence if you don't mind. Yes, I don't mind, I put often in. Probably you will tell me, said, no, you are wrong, we're not create the world. We have some restricted as well as cryptographers, which are true. But compare with engineers, cryptographers have much more freedom to do whatever you want to do, and much more freedom to claim what you have got. Okay, let me tell you why I think this way. So this is life in those two words. Cryptographer, the way we're working on is to find a cryptographic problem. They may practical, they may not. Although we say we like to solve practical problems, but actually we less care than engineer does. Then we define the cryptographic primitives as a definition for what we're working on. And we also define security of primitive. Then we create, to define security of the primitive, we create a security model. It's quite free for us, although there are some conditions, but it's quite free for us to say we made the definitions, we made the models, and we defined in this way, we mean security is follow that model. Then we design algorithm or break some algorithms, so we prove algorithms. When we say it's secure, insecure, we means it's secure, I can prove it under my model. It's insecure, no. Either I cannot prove it, or I have reason to, I have ability to attack it, or have reason to say so. So it's quite free for us to say it. And the aim for our work is quite likely to create something elegant. I heard this word a number of times during those 2 days. Something elegant, something beautiful, something delicate. Yeah, I designed this one. Don't touch it. You cannot change anything. When you change anything, I cannot prove it. When you change anything, it's insecure. So that is our result. Then from engineer side, they take a real world problem because they are not free to choosing any problems. They have to follow what their customers said, what the market said, whatever anyone else said. Even cryptographer said, do it, don't do it. They choosing crypto solutions to solve problem, like I said before, with a lot of restrictions. Regulation, standard, cryptographer's recommendation. So then when we design the crypto, as I said, we want to make it beautiful. But what they worried about is not how ugly the scheme is. They worried about the lifetime guarantee. They worried about maintainability. How easy to maintain this, how easy to keep it, how long they can keep it. So that tend to the satisfaction and the prejudice are also quite different. Probably you don't want to agree with me for the very last line, say cryptography's pressure and the satisfaction is publication. Probably can you say, no, not entirely. I'm also interested about my attack can be affected, can affect those manufacturers, they change it or not. Yeah, that is because you still have part of your brain as an engineer. That's probably taken from HP in your early life. Yeah, I say the may pressure and the satisfaction is publication. Yeah. Then from engineer side, they don't care about this. Graham said million times to me, no paper and nothing. And I only care about is customer satisfaction. Seems like he doesn't have his own satisfaction. Maybe he's lying, but actually he said he care about the customer satisfaction and the success in the market.
Lying a little. I think he does care about his own satisfaction.
Yeah, he's writing a book for TCG. Yeah, I should argue with him next time. Then this page also said the life in those two words, but from different angle. It's about keywords and languages. So this different languages, different keywords, quite often cause, Graham said, what the heck are you talking about? If I carelessly choosing the words from this side, talk to him, he will come up with this sentence, this question. So let's check briefly about the difference between those two sets of keywords. We have assumptions. For cryptographer, we have hard problems, and it is about computationally infeasible. So that is assumption and hard problems. But from engineer side, the assumption they start with is attacks are not interested for this type of damage. So they assume if attacks are not interested, that's safe. Then we use a negligible. They not use negligible, but something similar. So our negligible. I put my the cryptographer's hand on said negligible means a mathematical function. Although we have, we use this a lot, not in every papers, but we mean it. But their negligible is about there is no business case for criminal. So this actually not my word. This word is from George Barrick's talk. John's talk. Yeah, John Barrick's talk. I like his this phrase. That's why I put it in. If there is no business case for criminal, then although attack is true, it seems like negligible from their point of view. There's something underneath which, we can think about a bit more, but not discuss that right now. So from crypto side, we have proof security. Of course, everybody talk about proof security, and almost in every talk we mentioned this, and you know what this means. And from engineer side, they have security evaluation, which they take a few business cases, and they study it carefully, and then they say, after evaluation, it's safe. Just like when we say after the proof, it's okay, it's secure. So maybe this is not only the language, is also the methods. And the next one is broken. I heard a lot of complaints from engineer side said, cryptographers, it's too easy for them to say something is broken. Just before I come here, I talked to one of my engineer friends, although he is very good in cryptography. I said, I'm not mentioning his name because I didn't talk to him, I say something here. Said, do you know Kenny has a talk about broken the TLS? He said, no, I don't believe him. Are you going to, you don't believe him? Are you going to ignore it? No. Do you always say no to whatever he does? No. Have I heard his real answer? No. You figure out what his answer is, but he does say, I'm going to check the details and see whether I need to change some codings, which he did some years ago. But they are not quite willing or happy or easy to accept what the cryptographer said, we have broken this. Because they have different definition about broken, and they use different words. So they think it's broken. Something broken means affecting the real usage. I can quite understand what Christopher's example, and also have an example about cars, and Christopher particularly said the car manufacturers hate him. Car manufacturers don't take the fact of they broken those algorithms into account. I can understand this a bit because they don't think it's broken. They think if it's broken, then it affects our real usage, and if it's not, then we can still live with this. And also the practical. We heard practical from every talk, and we all noticed that we have different meaning of practical, and practical from crypto side is more efficient than the previous work. That's practical. And the practical from the engineer side is, can I make it? Can I ask a vendor to manufacture it? That's practical. Okay. Finally, oracles. Oracle is used a lot. It appears a lot in our papers, in proof, and in everywhere in the crypto side. But every time I mention Oracle to Graham, it will make him headache. What do you mean, Oracle? There's no such thing. Okay, I gave up. Never tried to mention it to him. Anything in the right side. Security proof. This is another thing which make me quite puzzled. This is my real story and the personal experience, although not quite precise for these pictures, but never mind, you know what this means. The TCG meeting in somewhere. And quite often, as a cryptographer, I'm just a helper, not main members, so I'm dying for probably the purpose to save HP travel money. Then I introduced to him about, here is our proposed scheme, blah, 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 what is this? Then he said, yes. Is your scheme safe? This is not the question I prepared before I dive in. Then I tried to carefully choosing the words, think about how can I explain to them about what the security, safe means. But I don't want to upset them. I said, yes, we have a security proof. Our scheme is secure as long as, before I even think about the way to tell them which security model we use, which hard problem is based on, and why say the safe. And I was interrupted, say, good, thank you very much. Then they moved on to next agenda. The last part is I imagined the engineer probably talked to himself, say, she said the scheme is safe. Why should I worry about what after as long as it is? And the last bit is I said to myself, yes, I didn't say it's completely safe, so I'm honest. Actually, what the cryptographers say for security proof is different from what engineers hear. We all talk about safety or security, proof, probably use slightly different words, but we mean differently. And we even talk to each other and hear differently. That's the problem. So I got this comment. Maybe you don't believe me, or maybe you don't disagree with, but it's kind of true. I will explain why. There is a great disparity between cryptographers and engineers' point of view regarding acceptable security levels. So I'm using a few examples to explain what it is very quickly. First one is privacy CA solutions. Privacy CA solution is a TCG version of using PKI to solve anonymity. I'm not going to explain what it is because it's quite boring. And we created some proofs to it that is done by Bogdan and his student Minfa and myself. And we created the model and we proved it. What the proof tells us? The proof tells us this scheme can only be proved secure in a very weak model. The very weak model, I mean, if anybody broken 1 TPM, he can impersonate any TPM. That is very bad to our point of view, isn't it? It's very weak. Then we created some countermeasures. We say, if you're changing this bit, that bit, and you can remove these problems. We talk to TCG. What their comments is, this security is acceptable. Well, why it's acceptable? Because this is used for many of our user cases. We have a bunch of user cases to study and incorporate. This is okay. It's not part of this. And the second point, which amused me a lot, said, if a TPM is broken, somebody do broken TPM, isn't it? Yeah. If TPM is broken, and the public key and the private key of TPM is public, then this will be the problem because people will take the public private key and impersonate as TPMs, as a real TPM. But that type of keys will be put in blacklist. But if somebody broken TPM just for their own purpose, pleasure, and use it, it's not a problem. It's not a TCG's problem. Just like Christopher and your charming student, you break the car, then you can probably get a car, but you will never do it. It's not affect their business. It's not affect the car business and business as usual. So that's why they didn't think about, you actually broken our schemes, our systems. We are okay. We are still safe. Exactly same case as TCG. So next example is about auth data, authorization data. Probably some of you have already heard. TCG allowed the user to use password as a key, then Mark Ray and myself find that there is a tag because, like many people mentioned, the privacy, password-based cryptography is quite delicate, and if you not carefully use it, it's wrong. Yeah, we find a tag. We suggest a few changes. Then these comments are well received, I have to say. Then they carefully did some bits changes, but the result is not completely satisfied. I'm not surprised. Then the next example, as I only have 3 minutes, I do run everything quickly, is about DAA. So DAA make Gram quite a headache, and we have ISO-based DAA in TPM 1.2, which is done by Yang, Ernie, and myself many years ago, and which is very inefficient. Then I have worked with a bunch of people, so their name here, I'm not going to read it, I don't have time. Then we have very good or very efficient solutions, quite a few. Some of them will likely be used in the next generation TPM. But actually, the result is nobody is happy with this. From cryptographer's side, say, it's not the best solution from our research. Probably, Nadia, if you check the final result, you will make these comments. And from engineer side, Graham said, you have make our TPM architecture completely ugly because we need to put we need to put DAA in it for different reasons. For some of them practical, some of them technical, but that's changing TPM's architecture. So at the end, nobody happy. That's my last example, which is from Graham. When I explain to Graham about what DAA does, what usual group signature does, is 4 different functions, and provide credential, prove credential is correct, then you sign, then you verify. It takes him a while to understand what those 4 functions is. Then he gave me a very nice observation. He said, why prove credential? Why you need to prove credential? You just get credential without proof, even it's garbage. You ask a TPM to sign it, then you verify it. If the verification is okay, this is DAA signature, credential is correct. Otherwise, it's not correct. Why you prove? But then I said, no, without that proof, we cannot prove this scheme is secure. Probably Nigel will agree with me. Then he said, that's your problem. That's not our problem. That's your cryptographer's problem. You cannot prove your scheme bad. The scheme is okay. Why we need this extra bit and pay this cost? I cannot ask my customer to pay this cost just because cryptographer cannot prove it. Okay, my last comments. Cryptography is not solely the domain of cryptographers, but also the domain of computer engineers. Yeah, I have said a lot about why. So this is the stages of cryptographic development, at least from my understanding. Start from problem assessment, and then cryptographers design crypto, and then go to the standard body and to check and standardize. Then this step is engineers redesign. They not simply take what cryptographers result and implemented it. People often say engineer implemented the algorithms, make it wrongly. No, that's not true. They redesign it. They not simply take it. Then the last step, we often quite miss it, is satisfaction of end user. When the end user use it, a lot of TPMs in computer, probably setting in most of your computers, but as end user, you may not even notice TPM is there. You may not even notice TPM can offer crypto functions for you. So this talk is trying to cover the cryptographer's design to engineers' redesign, although I didn't say much details. And between cryptographers and engineer, there is a standard seeded middle. I'm not going to share this because we have already heard a lot from other talks. Now this is quite, no, not the last slide, but the next, is almost my conclusion. Actually, I think cryptographers and engineers are sitting in the same boat. We should be nice to each other, but actually we're not. So there are a few comments, probably some of you heard a lot more than me. Like at least 2 from 3 we heard from our talk. So cryptographers say, engineers say, what they are doing is all wrong. Because there are a lot of because. One of them is they cannot be proved in any acceptable model. Maybe true. And they don't know what they are doing. No, actually, they do know what they are doing. What they don't know is what we are doing. They don't know what we are doing. They know what they are doing. Maybe we also don't know what they are doing. This is from crypto side. From engineer side, the comments is even more nasty. Cryptographers create all those problems. And one comment I quoted from Graham, I got his permission to say it, say, cryptographers are a real pain. Then my other colleague made a made worse comments, but I haven't got permission to mention his name. I don't dare to ask him, if I mention this comment, do you mind? No, I'm not asking him, otherwise he will say no. So he said, the first thing we do, probably he quoted from somewhere else, let's kill all the cryptographers. Everything is all right. So can we be nice to each other? Probably we can, but how? So this is my last slide. Is cryptographic theory practically relevant? This is one way to answer it. We start from assumptions like all cryptographers do. Suppose n out of bigger N, cryptographers will say yes to this question. And suppose m out of big M, engineers will say yes to this question. Both N and M larger than negligible. You know what negligible means. And we have 2 goals. One is I want to get my theory published. The second goal is I want to get my theory used. Both are very reasonable and very good. Then we got X, Y, Z, whatever you call the theory or lemma, or there's 2 big words, and anyway, I called it X, Y, Z. The answer to the above question is yes. Under those 2 assumptions, then I need a proof. Everything needs proof. I give a stretch of proof because I run out of time. Okay, based on the assumption 1 and in case 1, in goal 1, I say yes, otherwise my submission will be rejected with a non-negligible probability. And I have to say yes for case 2 because otherwise nobody will build my scheme. Okay, therefore XYZ is proved because those 2 goals are the only goals we are concerned. Then you will say, no, you don't have models, you don't have definitions, you don't have a rigorous proof, your answer is rejected. That's my talk.
Maybe we have time for just one quick question or
Okay.
comment while Douglas is getting set up for the next talk. Anybody have any comment to make to leave?
Yes.
Please, George.
Yeah, I think you've been very kind to both sides actually about this misunderstanding and presented it more as a kind of cultural misunderstanding between these 2 sides. I would be much harsher. I mean, engineers are interested in market success. That basically means making money, right? I mean, let's call market success with its real name. And making money selling crypto, given what the market for crypto is an awful business because there is no way in the market for people to choose quality. There is no liability in the market if you actually sell crap. And as a result, basically, all the pressures on the engineers is to do a bad job at security and cryptography. So in that sense, if now we look at academics, they have other agendas except for publishing papers, which is to get tenure and all that stuff, which basically feeds their own kind of biases there. But this idea of making money in a market that cannot recognize security or quality cryptography is a problem that as a community we need to tackle head on, right? If we ever want to actually bridge the divide that you described. Huh?
Yeah, I fully agree with you. And this is a good comment. Then I adding a little bit more is from engineer side, they will say the cryptographers more cautious, more probably serious, say that not only get tenure and make a paper published, and also you need to get a PhD thesis, you need to make yourself famous or for whatever reasons, and then you will do the job badly as well because you will just push things to be published and to in the public domain. You don't care about whether this is useful or not. You don't care about you hurt somebody's work. You don't care about say broken, but actually it's not real. So that is from their side. Do we want to change this or do we want? No, I'm not suggesting any changes from my talk. I only try to bring some awareness. Only try to say those 2 communities need to talk to each other, to understand to each other. If myself, I got my crypto hat, my engineer hat, they needed to understand to each other.
This would make a great thing to discuss in more detail, I think, in the panel this afternoon. So it would be a good opportunity to explore in
Thank you.
detail how these worlds collide.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks again.